Good Sunday morning after Christmas, everyone. I hope you joined us for Sunday school this morning. Not personally or on site, but I've prepared a Sunday school lesson from the book of Matthew's Gospel, chapter 2, about the birth of Jesus, the very first Christmas, and the coming of the three wise men, or the wise men. Before I do that, I'm so very proud. I've shown these off for the last two Sundays, but they're beginning to take their place throughout our sanctuary. These are pew Bibles that have been purchased by the members of our church by their donations and their contributions. This is the small print version, but they're very nice. And I'm so glad they're in the New King James Version, and they're in the different hymnal or Bible pockets that are in the pews throughout our sanctuary, and we're so happy and glad to have them in place. I want to talk with you for just a moment about the unused Christmas gift. I don't know what you got for Christmas, or if someone sent you a package, or you bought something for yourself for Christmas, but maybe you received something good to eat, or you went out to eat, or you gathered, who knows. My dad said that they enjoyed Christmas because they would get walnuts and pecans, candy, and occasionally an orange or an apple, which was very unusual for them. We think everybody has apples and oranges and tangerines, but actually those are grown in faraway places in my dad and mom's childhood. Those were not yet being grown and sold all around the world at every season in the year. I hope you got a Christmas gift, and if you did, I hope it's something that made you happy. They do say that the gift is in the thought, or it's the thought that counts. I know children sometimes miss the thought. They're just happy to have a new toy or a gift or some clothing. My granddaughters even love clothing, and it makes them happy. Sometimes I have given impractical Christmas gifts, probably gifts that the recipients could not use or did not need. I'm not very good at figuring out or finding out. I heard that one of my granddaughters was going to get a ukulele for Christmas. I hope she did. That was yesterday. And so I put together a video on how to tune her ukulele, to get it in tune, and then some songs. I've got a whole little booklet that I printed out of easy to play ukulele chords and songs. That's for Avery. I had one assignment for shopping this year for some reason that perhaps I know now, but escaped me at the time. Addison, my oldest granddaughter, said that she wanted masking tape. So I went to Lowe's. My assignment was to buy her some rolls of masking tape. She probably has a project or some task that requires taping things. So I hope that those were well received. Terry does all of our shopping and gift wrapping, and so she has a much better sense of appropriateness. Sometimes I have received gifts. I think of my dad. He would sometimes say, what do I need this for? What am I going to do with this? And when he passed away and we began going through his things, we discovered lots of different things that we had given him as birthday presents or Christmas gifts over the years, and they were still in the package. He had never used them, had never found a need for them, and that was all right. He did appreciate them, but he was not someone who always wanted a lot of things. We also became recipients when my mom passed away, and we went through her personal belongings after she passed, and we saw a lot of, I now have a lot of the things that I gave her as gifts. She kept them over the years, and she had just lots of drawings and pictures that my children made for her that had at one time or another adorned the front of her refrigerator, now in a scrapbook and now ours. And things that we had given to her that she had used and appreciated, or maybe just placed for appearance. But they came back to us, and we enjoy them still. I want to talk with you about what I think was the unused Christmas gift. Instead of focusing upon the wise men, let's look for just a moment at the gifts that they brought. The Bible says very clearly that they brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now we know what gold is. It's a precious metal. It was precious in Jesus' day. I believe that this was a very practical gift, and I believe that Mary and Joseph could not have survived, and Jesus could not have been kept safe if they had not been given this gift. They had not received this gift, gold. Probably gold coins. Maybe a small cask. You see, they were very soon have to flee the Judean city of Bethlehem and hide themselves away in Egypt. Herod was a maniac. He was a serial killer and a mass murderer. And he was trying to find Jesus so that he could kill him. The Christmas story was under attack from the very first. It costs a lot of money to just leave where you are and go somewhere and hide. I believe more of us would run away and hide if we had more money. Sometimes we just can't, we don't have the location in mind, or how are we going to feed ourselves? How are we going to survive? How are we going to stay off the grid or under the radar if we don't have any money? Well, they had some gold. I don't know how much, but I believe it was enough. The frankincense, that's very strange. Incense, we use it perhaps today to make our homes have that musky or floral scent, potpourri kind of smell. We might burn incense, but throughout human history, incense, even today, most of the incense that is created and purchased and used is used in worship by many different world religions. It says in Matthew chapter 2 that the wise men came, and when they saw him, they saw the young child, there with Joseph and Mary, it says they fell down before him and they worshiped him. I believe the very first gift that was given, they broke open that gift of frankincense. And they lit it, and they really did worship that little baby. It doesn't say how, or what words they said, or what prayers they prayed, or what their actions were. Probably, what steps do you follow to worship a Messiah upon his appearance? Nobody knew. They were winging it. They were making it up as they went, or as God led them, and it says that they worshiped him. I believe that was the very first gift. You know, have you ever received a box of candy for Christmas and someone just broke it open and passed it out? Or there were cookies in a tin? I remember when we lived in Arkansas, some of our friends up there sometimes would give us tins or boxes full of brownies or cookies, baked goods. It was the very most precious kind of gift, because we knew that they had made this themselves and they gave it to us. We enjoyed it in many different ways. Myrrh is a powdered perfume, if you would, or a powdered substance. The berries of the myrrh plant, they actually, I'm told, if you smell one or held it in your hand, a handful of myrrh berries, and you smell them, you wouldn't smell anything. But if you took that and crushed it and mashed it up and pulverized it, an aroma is released that's just wonderful. And it makes a powder spice. It was primarily, it's very expensive, very rare, very expensive. And people probably of Joseph and Mary's status in life probably had never actually seen any before, or certainly had never owned any. And it's unusual because the custom for many people, from the Egyptians on through the Israelites themselves, when a loved one died, they would mummify them or wrap them in powders and spices that would desiccate them. It would draw all of the moisture that causes decay from a body, and it would preserve the body, and it would keep the body from smelling bad. We do such things with the remains of our loved ones even today. We use embalming liquids and fluids and substances. This was the kind of gift that you gave to someone, or someone purchased, or someone owned for use in a burial. I believe that because of necessity that Mary and Joseph spent all of that gold in their travels, and it ultimately brought them back to where they settled when they returned after Herod had died. They settled in the city of the little town of Nazareth, and Jesus lived there the early part of his life. He was thought of as someone from Nazareth. That's where Mary and Joseph were from. That's where their families lived. The gold took them to Egypt, provided for them, and then got them back home. Maybe they spent every bit of it, but it was enough. The incense may have just been consumed on the night that the wise men worshiped Jesus. It may have all gone up in smoke. What did Mary, the mother, what did Mary and Joseph do with that myrrh, that burial dust? It was probably in a sealed cask so that it would keep the moisture out and preserve it and keep it from being spilled. The Bible doesn't say, and I'm just using my sanctified imagination here, but I believe with all my heart that Mary kept that cask of embalming powder all of Jesus' life, put it away like a mother does things, in a hope chest, in a safe place. And I believe on that Easter, that sad, mournful Easter Sunday morning, so far, far away from Christmas, I believe that when Mary and the other women were on their way to the tomb where Jesus had been laid, I believe that she had gone and pulled out that cask of myrrh that she had received from those wise men many years before. She'd kept it all these years and grieved. You know, the prophet Simeon in the temple had said that the coming of Jesus would be a great joy and celebration for many people, just like Christmas, but it would be something that would break her heart as a mother. I believe, just in my imagination, that she carried this, kept it away for all of his life, and when he died, I believe that she went and retrieved it. And I believe she had it in her hands on her way with those other women to the tomb. And when they got to the tomb, where they were going to cleanse the body of Jesus, they didn't know that Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus had already done that. They didn't know that Jesus' body had already been perfectly, correctly prepared for burial according to their custom. They didn't know that. They were going to take care of that. It was sometimes done, and since it was a Jewish holiday that was upon them, it was not proper nor permitted for them to touch a dead body, during the Passover celebration, before or after. I believe that his mother, was carrying that gift. That gift that she had never used, that she had never dispensed, that she had kept all these years, given to her by a wise man, and I believe that she was taking it to that tomb. And when she got there with all these other ladies, the tomb was empty. I don't know what she did with it or what became of it. Maybe it did get used. But I can see that mother just taking that box and opening the lid and throwing the myrrh into the air, making a cloud of aromatic smell. I think that there might have possibly been an unused Christmas gift. He is not here. He is risen. You see, because the Christmas story and the Easter story are connected. They are part of one story. A part of why Jesus came and what he did and who he is. I hope that you continue, and I hope that this new year brings you God's goodness and grace. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless you all.